Hi guys, so today I'm gonna do a video and it's a book haul video. I went to a book sale recently and it was $20 a bag and you could fill them up all the way. And think about it, like if you would fill up a bag of books now, you'd probably have to, like, and they were all retail price, you'd probably be paying like $200 in these books. My mom got some books, I got some books, but these are the books I'm going to show you guys. Now, these are books that I haven't read. I'm just going to show you some stuff. And when I always, when I like to go to book reviews, when I like to go to book sales and stuff, I usually, if I can't find stuff by an author or a book that I need written by a certain author, I just like to, skim around and see what I can find and see if there's anything that I think is good. Like, sometimes, I just look at the cover and I buy it, or I get it. Sometimes I read the back, sometimes I don't. It just depends. And I got a good little, hold on. I got a good little, menagerie of books. I think that's how you use that word. But anyway, so if you hear, crinkling or anything weird in the background, it's just the bags with the books in it, because I'm not taking them out, I'm just taking them out of the bag. So this one I got, this was actually from England. She's an English writer, and because this book was it had a sticker on it, and it said 2 pounds, I didn't even know, but yes, she is, this woman is a, English, British writer, and this is what it looks like, and it's called Sushi for Beginners. It's about 4 different women and stuff like that. I like books like that, where it's a group of women and they each have some kind of different problem and stuff like that. So the next book I'm going to show you is, I just bought this book because I liked the cover of it. And I think this was just, I can't remember if it was just a romance. I can't remember, but this is by Susan Elizabeth Phillips, and it's called Fancy Pants. This is what it looks like. It's just about, a woman who meets a man. It's a romance book. This I got because I really liked the cover of this book. And it's a cute little book that I think I'm gonna like. It's called A 3-Dog Life, a memoir. It's by Abigail Thomas, and I like it because she's here. This is the back, and hold on, I can cut off her head off. It's this lady, I guess, is the writer, and then she has this dog, and this dog, and it's about her husband dies, and she decides to get some dogs, and these dogs are helping her get her life back, stuff like that. It's a really, when you read I didn't, just buy that one just for the cover, I, read the thing, too. So this one I got because this book, I thought it was going to be about, just about, the royal family or something. British royal family or the English royal family. But it's about all different kinds of royals, and it's called The Treasury of Royal Scandals, the Shocking True Stories of History's Wickedest, Weirdest, and Most Wanton Kings, Queens, Czars, Popes, and Emperors. And I don't know how you say this author's last name, so I'm not going to pronounce it. But this is what it looks like. And it's just about, different people in history. From here, it's, it just says about Nero. He was the emperor, in Rome. It says from ancient Rome to the Edwardian England, to the lavish rooms of Versailles, to the darkest corners of Bastille. It seemed like a really cool book. So, I think that one's going to be really good. Enjoyable. So this book is it's called 52 Loaves. It's one man's relentless pursuit of truth, meaning, and the perfect crust. It's by William Alexander. And this is what it looks like. It's about, this man who is, every week he tries to make bread, and he tries to make it, like, perfect, and he goes to, like, Morocco and stuff. It seems like a really good book. That one I kind of just got because of the cover. This one I got because of the cover, too. It's by Sandra Dallas. It's called The Chili Queen, and this is what it looks like. This is what it looks like. And it's just about, a woman, stuff like that. So this is a book that I got, and I read these kind of books before. There's these books that are, like, they're hardback books, but they have, like, some Christian stuff in it, like some biblical things in it, like stuff like that. It's about, like, it's not like about the people of the Bible. It's just about people's trust in God and stuff like that. And it's like a little story. And there's some, like, biblical quotes in it too. I think this was like a Christian romance or something like that. It was like on the floor in a box with all these other books. And this one seemed like a good book to read. It's a series. It's the Tales from Grace Chapel Inn, and it's called Eyes on the Prize, and it's by Sunny Jeffers. That's what it looks like. And it's about this. It's fall in this little town, and it's about three sisters who are facing different challenges, and their aunt is dying, so they're trying to make their aunt comfortable, stuff like that. So this one, I read a book by this author before, and I forget what it was called. I think it was like it's on the back, Barefoot. And so I wanted to read another book by her, and it's sort of like the same exact thing like the other book I read by her is. It's about one couple's secrets cast 6 friends adrift, and it's called The Castaways. It's by Ellen Hildebrand. I think that's how you say her last name. That's what it looks like. And it's basically just about a couple and about a secret they're keeping from their friends and stuff like that. But yeah, it sounded like a really good book, and I like her books the best. So this one I bought, and it was just because it had Downton Abbey on it, and I thought, oh, it's gonna be about like Downton Abbey, but it's not. It's about these women who watch Downton Abbey, and they get together to watch it. Excuse me. And this is while we were watching Downton Abbey. Downton Abbey was like a show on BBC. Stuff like that. It was about like this English house and stuff like that. It's by Wendy Wax. This is what it looks like. And this book I got, now I don't remember if I read this book because, sorry guys, I don't remember if I read this book because most of her books sort of like blend together because they're usually about like the Tudor era in England's history. And this is called The Constant Princess. It's by Philippa Gregory. And she writes books mostly about, like, royal stuff, like, about the Tudors mostly. And this is what it looks like. And it's a hardback book. And it's about, Catherine of Aragon, which was Henry VIII's first wife. So you guys know. This book is a big book. Some of these books are really big, but this is called The Children's Book. It's by A.S. Bryant. I don't know how to say his last name. This is what it looks like. And basically it's about this father who decides to write each one of his children, I think he has 7 children, a different book. And stuff like that. I think it's like to go along with like their personalities or something. This is another book, and there is one, I think, but I think it's in the other bag that I'm just about to show you. I guess it's like a series. I just seen these 2 books together and I wanted to get them. It's about royals, the English royal family again, and this one's about It's 1461, and it's about Edward, the son of Richard of York. And this is called Daughter of York by Anne Easter Smith. This is what it looks like. So you guys, this book is really big. And we only have one hand, and you're trying to get it in the shot. It's a little hectic. So that was bag number 1. And let me say, one of these bags was mine, and the other one was my mom's, and my mom didn't buy that many books because she has so many books. So, I mean, she didn't buy that many books, so I put most of my books in her bags. This is why I have 2 bags, because she only bought a couple books. But hey, and because she has lots of books, she won't buy that many, and she's like really picky about the different books that she gets. So I got this book. I shouldn't say I bought it. I got this book. I mean, I bought the bag, but I did this because I read this book in college, one by this author, and I really liked it. And it's by Mitch Albom, and it's the author of Tuesdays with Morrie. That's the book that I read. And I have another book by him, but I didn't read it yet. And this is called 5 People You Meet in Heaven, and I can't remember, me and my mom were trying to figure out if this book became a movie, because I think there was something called, like, 5 People You Meet in Heaven or something, like a couple years ago, but, I don't know for sure, so if you would just comment below and tell me if it was a movie, because I don't remember if it was or not. So this is what it looks like. Cute little hardback book. This book, I read 2 of her books before that went in order. And this is, well, I read the Something Barred and Something Blue, the 2 books that went together. It's by Emily Giffin, and this one is called Baby Proof. And it's about a woman and a husband this is what it looks like, who never wanted kids. And then she meets a man who does, so it's like a deal breaker. This book is about the first ladies. Now, there isn't really a cover on it, but I probably did it one time, I guess. And it just says it's by Cowles. I don't know. This is what it says on the back. And it goes up to, this isn't like a recent one, obviously. It only goes up to Pat Nixon, Richard Nixon's wife. So it's just a book about the first ladies, basically. It's not anything exciting, but I like reading about the presidents and stuff. So this is another little Christmas book. There was like this whole, like, we went into like the room of the library where all of the books were, from like being donated and stuff like that. Like, these weren't like books that the library was like giving away because they were going out of business or anything. This was like a library book sale where like people donated their books and stuff. And there was a huge, when you put them all out, it was like fiction, non-fiction, hardback, trades, Christian romance, romances, literature, stuff like that, biography, stuff like that. On the back wall, there was this whole half of a table dedicated to just Christmas books. And I don't think it was there last time. And I just, got this book because it was like a small little book, and it was because my bag was like getting overstocked and everything, so I wanted to get a couple little books, and so I got this little Christmas book, and it was a movie, which I didn't know because I didn't read the back of it, but it's called The Christmas Jars. It's by Jason F. Wright. So what it looks like, it's about a man who, his life isn't going the way he wanted, and he gets a mysterious Christmas gift, and I guess that gift opens up a whole new life for him. So, let's see what this book is. This book, I just bought it. I guess it's about Mary Magdalene. It doesn't really say on the back that it's about her, but I guess it does because of the title. It's called The Magdalene Cipher by Jim Hogan, I don't know. This is what it looks like, and I guess that would be Mary Magdalene right there, I guess. So, yes. This book is about the royals. It's about royal service, my 12 years as valet to Prince Charles. It's by Stephen P. Barry. And this is what it looks like. Now, they do say it's not valet, like it is here. It's valet. If you watch Downton, they say valet, so I guess that's how you'd say it now. And it's just about Prince Charles' valet, basically. So this book is another biography, and it's called The Untold Story of the Queen of England and Her Prince. It's about Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip. It's called Elizabeth and Philip by Charles Higham and Roy Mosley. This looks like it's a really big book, so I don't know if I'm getting all in the shot, but that's what it looks like. I just like reading about them. I don't know. I just like reading about like royals because I guess it's just because, you know, they're just part of history, and I like history, so I like to read about them. This is the book I was telling you about that goes along with that other book that I just showed you. This is about King Richard III. Remember, the first one was about his son, and this is about him. So I guess this book is the first one, and it's A Rose for the Crown. It's by Anne Easter Smith. That's what it looks like. It's a really big book. I don't even know how many chapters are in it. Oh, I mean, how many pages? There's like 600 pages in it. I thought it would be more because it seemed like there was more. So, this book is basically like one of the books that I like. It's about 4 different women who come together at a yoga studio, and they each have different problems. Excuse me. It's called The Tales from the Yoga Studio. It's by Rain Mitchell. This is what it looks like, and it's a small little book. Now, this author, she has a lot of different books out. Like, she has books. It's sort of like, you know how James Patterson has, like, his number series where it's, like, 7 Heaven or The Third Degree or something like that. Well, this woman, she has her own kind of letter and number series. And I wanted to try her out because I don't think I've ever read a book by her. And there were so many there that I wanted to try. Now, they didn't have the first one that went with the number series. That's what I call it, to be honest. And it's by Jackie Evanich. I don't know how you say her last name. Or, I mean, Janet Evanich, I guess. I don't know how you say her last name. It's called Two for the Dough. It's a Stephanie Plum novel. And this is what it looks like. This is another Stephanie Plum book. And it's by the same author, and it's called Plum Lucky. I wanted to get one that wasn't like a numbered one to see if I liked it. That's what it looks like. And I didn't want to buy a lot of her books. I didn't know if I was going to like her, because I don't think I ever read any of her books. I know my mom read some, but not myself. So, this is another little Christmas book, and this is like a fact book. It's called 4,000 Years of Christmas, A Gift from the Ages. And it has like little, like things you can discover in this book, like exchanging gifts for the 12 days of Christmas starting among Bronze Age Babylonians. And it has the original story of St. Nicholas, which is Santa Claus, stuff like that. It's like a little factual book. This is what it looks like, you guys. This book is about the presidents of the United States. Now, there was another volume there. This is volume 2. I seen it. It was in the biography section, and the first book was the first volume of this was just about the different things that the president can do, like he's the commander-in-chief and the army and blah, 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 and how they get elected and stuff like that. And I thought that was going to be really boring, and all I wanted to do was read a book about the president, so I got the second one, which is the book about the presidents. And this is what it's called. It's called World Book of America's Presidents. It's a portraits of the presidents. And it's a thick book. It's a hardback book. It was I guess it was an encyclopedia book. That's what it seems like to me. This is what it looks like. There wasn't any, what it says in the back of the, or in the, in the front of the book, in the front pages, who wrote it, but it goes up to Richard Nixon again. Now, those two books I just showed you, though this one and the First Lady book, they don't go together at all. I mean, they do go up to the same president, but they don't go together. Like, they're not a series. This is a book I got. It's another Christmas book. and it's by Fanny Flagg, and it's called A Red Bird Christmas, and it's about this man who for a couple of days he sees this red bird, and I guess the red bird brings him different gifts or something like that. This book was another biography book. It's about the murder of King Tut, Tutankhamun, and it's by Bob Brainer, PhD, with a new introduction by the author. This is what it looks like. I never read, I think I did, well, yeah, I did have a book that I read about him, but I just thought it was going to be a cool book to read. This is what it looks like. We're almost done. Second to last book. Now, this was a series of books, and I didn't get all of them because I couldn't fit them in, so I only got one of them. And I know this isn't the first one or the second one or whatever, but the first one always comes, like, the movie comes on TV all the time, and I just bought this one because I just wanted to, like, read it, because, I mean, all the books were there, but I wanted to read this one. This is by Sophie Kinsella. It's the Shopaholic and Baby. And this is what it looks like, guys. And it's about, you know, the movie The Confessions of a Shopaholic. That's, like, the first book in the series. And they play it all the time on TV. And I, like, never watched that movie, but I never knew it was, like, a whole series. I knew there was, like, 2 books in it, but not, like, a whole series. So that's, like, the 3rd or 4th book in the series. So the last book I'm going to show you is Encyclopedia Horrifica. And it's about the terrifying truth about vampires, ghosts, monsters, and more. It's by Jonathan Gee, and I don't know how to, like, say where the picture, like, moves when you, like, move the book. It's like a skull, and then, like, bugs come out of it. It looks really weird. This is what it looks like. Yeah, it's moving. See, you can't tell, but it's moving a little bit. That was all of the books that I got in my book haul. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys next time with more videos.